The recovery period was worse than the operation. Okay. They load you up with immunosuppressants, heavy doses of immunosuppressants that are unbelievable because they don't want that kidney to reject. You have nausea, you have dizziness, you have diarrhea, you have cramps, you have upset stomach, you have constant tremors in your hands, and it feels like pins and needles in your fingers. And I could literally not write my signature for 4 months until they lowered the level of immunosuppressants. Okay. Nobody told me about these things. I read about it. I read that the recovery period's worse than the operation. Believe me, it is. When they finally leveled everything off, okay, after about 6 months, I was feeling great. Absolutely great. And if they hadn't tried to kill me in March, when they put 2 stents in my renal artery, I developed some a stenosis, scar tissue. It's not uncommon, and we did an angiogram, and I almost bled to death in recovery. I'm very susceptible to drugs. I told you. They gave me a standard dose of blood thinner Plavix. They gave me 300 milligrams. The usual dose is 75 when you're on a blood thinner. With me, of course, 300 was like 1,000 to anybody else, and they hadn't sealed the external wound properly, and I almost went into cardiac arrest. I alerted the nurses, and they all came running, and I'm here to tell a tale. Net result was what you see in front of you today is a guy going to be 64 in December who feels like he's 45 again, who is multitasking at a very, very high level again, who's enjoying life just tremendously, fully. Okay. Along the way, by the way, 3 weeks after my transplant, I had emergency hernia repair. The other side, thank God. Okay. Kidney biopsies, all these things, in and out of the hospital for tests. One of the things that I want to, with my little experience in March, where I almost bled to death, it's an outpatient procedure. But what I want you to remember, always remember, is that no surgical procedure is routine, is without risk, even when it's outpatient. Okay. If it's without risk, they wouldn't make the patient sign a consent form, a pre-surgical consent form. Keep that in mind. Very, very important. Okay. Am I out of the woods? No. No, I never will be. Never will be. Okay. What's happened in the meantime? Well, my creatinine's sort of stuck around 1.8 to 2. We don't know why. We're trying to find out. Maybe I dehydrate too fast. I'm drinking water like, it goes in one and comes out the other constantly. Okay. But I'm feeling good. All my other numbers are fine. I've developed cataracts. I have constant skin outbreaks. I'm very, very susceptible to skin cancer now that I'm on immunosuppressants. I have increased dental plaque. I go to the dentist 4 times a year now, not 2, all due to immunosuppressants. Okay? It's a trade-off. Okay? Now, the good side was the 17-day vacation that we took in July to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. First time in 7 years without dialysis. Absolutely fabulous trip. Well worth having the kidney transplant. Okay. What's down the road? I don't know. We're going to take it a day at a time. That's how we live now. Okay. And a lot of the things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. I know what the big things are. The big things are basically being self-contented, having someone who loves you. Those are the big things. You get up in the morning and you say, hello, I'm here again. It's great.